It's May 22nd, 2024. Kelly and I are up on Highway 33, and we just hiked this canyon that goes off to the north of the highway here, Potrero Jon, and it shows as it's supposed to be about 6 miles, but we managed to wander around in the upper part of the trail and make it 6.5 total hike, and about 1,200 feet elevation gain, somewhere around like that. You hike through a nice sequence of rocks. So we're in the Matilla here, and that's all that sandstone. It's kind of dipping off to the right, which is to the south. There's Highway 33 going back towards the Ojai. And this is where Potrero Jon, you can see it in that sign there, that's where the creek goes under the bridge, and then it meets the Sesame Creek here and joins, and then it flows down to the south here. When you walk up through Potrero Jon Canyon, you go through the Matilla Fall first. It's dipping off to the south, like you can see here to the right, and then you cross over actually an anticline. You get a little piece of Hung Cal, which is the underlying formation, and then you cross over the fold, and then you're in where all the Matilla is dipping back to the north then. And then you cross a fall. I'll show you on the map what I'm talking about. So here's a Wheeler Springs quadrangle. And I penciled in, I don't know if you can see it very well, but where's my finger here? I penciled in kind of where we hiked. We're parked kind of down in here, and then we walk through this fold, which is in the center of it. It's eroded down to this underlying Hung Cal formation, which is this green. And then, so all the rocks on this side, on the south side of that, that's a fold, an anticline symbol, that dashed line with the arrows going outward. All of that is down to the south dip. You can see these striking dips here that look like they're 60 or 40 and 50. And then, anyway, you walk through that, and then you cross another fault, which is called, I think it's Cutting Creek. It's called the Munster Creek Fault, okay? So you cross that one, that's that heavy line there, and it's up on this side, and so that means that you drop into younger rocks down here. You go through on the trail at least, you follow my finger here, go through the Sesame and the Carroll. So there's a campground up here, nice little campground. And then, and this time of year, I mean, we've had 2 good wet years. There was a lot of water in this creek. And then you go through some Monterey sandstone, and then further up, you cross another fault. Actually, go into some Santa Margarita, which is a shallow marine late Miocene deposit, and it's got oyster fragments in it, fossil oyster fragments in it, a lot of conglomerate in there. Then you cross this Pine Mountain Thrust, which is a big northeast dipping fault that brings up all this older rock that makes up the Pine Mountain Ridge, which is to the north of us here. But eventually we got up, and the trail is really in bad shape when you get up the last half mile before the waterfall. There's a waterfall up here, although I don't know that we actually got to it. We got to the rapids, and they're all in this Hung Cal and these older Eocene units that have a lot of very silicious sandstone. There's some rapids in here and cascading stuff, and we kind of turned around there because we had gone so far and it was so brushy, and it was just trails like in miserable shape up here. But the lower, 3/4 or even more of the trail is not in bad shape. A lot of stream crossings this time of year because we go high water. Anyway, it's a nice little hike. If you do make it all the way to the waterfall, and I hope it's still there. I haven't been up there in maybe about 3 years. There was a pretty good sized waterfall. I mean, it dropped about 10 or 15 feet, and it had a big water pool below it. We did not get that far, although I think we were pretty close. If it's still there, I just don't know if these debris flows that come down here could have covered it up or done something to it, change the whole landscape. Anyway, nice little hike. Like I said, should be about 6 mile round trip to that waterfall or near the waterfall, and about 1,200 feet elevation gain. So nice day hike.